Nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. 'Cause we know right from wrong, and it's as simple as this song. Nobody is above the law. Corporations ain't above the law. Corporations ain't above the law. 'Cause we know right from wrong, and it's as simple as this song. Nobody is above the law. The rich man. And oh, the rich man ain't above the law. Oh, the rich man ain't above the law. Can't hear ya. 'Cause we know right from wrong, and it's as simple as this song. Nobody is above the law. Politicians! Politicians ain't above the law. Politicians ain't above the law. 'Cause we know right from wrong, and it's as simple as this song. Nobody is above the law. Here's the one you've been waiting for. Oh, the president ain't above the law. Oh, the president ain't above the law. 'Cause we know right from wrong, and it's as simple as this song. Nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. 'Cause we know right from wrong, and it's as simple as this song. Nobody is above the law.
Welcome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Senator Rebecca Ballin. I represent Windham County. And I live here in Brattleboro with my family. I am here today not as a senator. I am here as a citizen. I am here as a Vermonter. I'm here as an American, as a mom, as a child of an immigrant. I'm here because I've had enough, and I know you've had enough too. And I've been channeling lately the spirit of Fannie Lou Hamer, who many of you I know, famous civil rights activist, and she's the one who coined the phrase, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." And I know you are too, and that's why we're all here today. I'm very excited to be working today with Franz Reichman and John Hagan, who are here. We're going to take you through today's impeachment rally. So we're going to go right to Franz, who's going to tell you about this amazing document we want you all to sign. Come on up, Franz. He is the one who lit a fire under our butts and said, we need to do this. We must be heard. The voices of Americans must be heard. Franz, take it away.
Well, thank you, Becca, and thanks everyone for being here.
Put your microphone up.
I'm going to read something I wrote a few days ago and then offer everyone here an opportunity to join me in signing it.
Right up close.
Got it. A declaration. For many months, it has been apparent that Donald J. Trump's personality and behavioral tendencies are ill-suited to the office of the presidency of the United States. Amen. This observation has been frequently made, even by those who have otherwise favored his policies and political appointments. His history of crude personal comments, deceptive business practices, diversion of money from charities, discrimination by race in real estate transactions, shortchanging of business associates and customers, and relentlessly acting in unfair and unpleasant ways is well known and well documented. His predilection for, his dedication to speaking and writing untruths repeatedly and despite correction is legendary and seemingly without limit. These things simply cannot be denied.
That's right. Amen.
But now matters have progressed beyond personality and behavioral appropriateness. Now we have seen the lengths to which he will go to subvert our democracy, our institutions, and our Constitution. This is a man who values only his own needs and desires and cares not at all for the traditions and sacrifices that have truly made America great. He has shown us who he is. We have watched what he has done, and we have seen enough. Beyond mocking the handicapped, beyond separating children from their parents, beyond belittling women in truly offensive ways, beyond encouraging violence against his political opponents, beyond repeatedly dividing Americans against each other, Donald J. Trump has now been openly revealed by his appointees, by his White House staff, and even by himself as engaging in what can only be called high crimes and misdemeanors under the Constitution. Donald J. Trump has thus made it necessary for the Congress of the United States to remove him from office through the process of impeachment by the House of Representatives and conviction by the Senate. The Congress can no longer avoid or shirk its duty to remove him from office, and he has only himself to blame. The critical and condemnatory facts, the ones that can no longer be wished away, nor washed away, nor dismissed as fake news, are as follows. Donald J. Trump has broken his oath of office in which he swore to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. Instead, he denies that it applies to him in his actions. The evidence is clear. He accepts gifts and payment from foreign governments and then calls the Constitution phony when it says the president shall not do so. He has repeatedly obstructed the constitutionally prescribed process of investigating his own and his administration's actions, including subpoenas lawfully promulgated by the Congress. Donald J. Trump has attempted to threaten and bribe a foreign leader, the president of a sovereign nation and ally of the United States, through intimidation and back-channel threats, into agreeing to help in his own political campaign. This was done in flagrant disregard of the urgent foreign policy needs of our country and our allies, and at the same time provided help to those who are or should be our adversaries. Donald J. Trump has usurped the powers given to the Congress to appropriate and spend our tax dollars, withholding our money from where it was allocated and spending it where it was not. In this, he offends the Constitution, as it was deliberately created to hold the power of the president in check and prevent unilateral decision-making in spending what the people have provided for our safety and the common good. These things are known. They are facts. Our judgments, our conclusions, and our actions must be based upon them. And our judgment is clear. We hereby call upon the Congress, we hereby insist that the Congress impeach and remove Donald J. Trump from office. And thereafter let the chips fall where they may. Justice will be served. And we say to you, Donald J. Trump, you have betrayed your oath and betrayed our country. We have seen enough, and you are unfit to be President of the United States. Secure in our knowledge and firm in our beliefs, we hereby sign our names to this declaration, as was done at the founding of our country, and we hereby pledge to each other to learn what is true, to know what is right, and to do what is necessary.
For the big reveal. He's lost the Sharpies. I think Trump took them for the map.
We want the Sharpie.
Where are the Sharpies?
Got the Sharpie. There we go.
We would like everyone who's here to please take a turn while we are here today hearing from our fellow citizens to come up and sign this document. it's important that we put our names to the document. Ritual is important to remind us of why we are here together. You are not alone. There are many other Americans who feel as you do. You do not need to feel in isolation. You do not need to feel lonely. You are not the only one who sees the outrageous and unbelievable things coming out of Washington. Please take your turn and sign the document.
Thank you, Becca. Just a couple more words, couple more things I want to say. And now I'm not saying them to you. To Donald Trump, I say this. The supposed leaders of the Republican Party may cower in their corners, mute their voices, and knuckle under to your tactics of intimidation. They may cringe and whine and shuffle their feet. They may tremble when they see you gaze in their direction out of naked and unseemly fear. But that's not us. We, the people of the United States, and in this I include all people of whatever political party or no political party, all those who renounce your undemocratic and anti-American actions, we will stand up to defend our values, our principles, and our democracy. We, the people of the United States, are not afraid. We refuse to knuckle under to your threats and intimidation. We stand here today joined together by our love of our country and the true greatness it is capable of. Joined together by our respect and admiration for the generations that struggled to bring forth what is good and proper and subdue what is evil and dangerous. We stand here joined together to say we have seen enough. Yeah. We have had enough, and your time is up, Mr. Trump. Step aside or be swept aside. Those are your options. That is your choice. The matter is in our hands now, and we shall do what is right. You're standing in front of us now, Donald Trump, and we say, Donald Trump, you're fired. Let the words go forth across our nation and around the world. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, you are fired! Thank you.
So while folks come up to sign the document, I'm going to read a letter from Congressman Welch, who's actually been doing a phenomenal job down in D.C. on our behalf. Many of you have probably heard him on VPR the other day talking about impeachment. This is a letter from Peter Welch specifically to us. He knew that we were going to be out here today, and he stands with us.
Yes!
He writes, I am so sorry that I can't be with you today, and I thank you for reading this statement on my behalf. I concluded in July that President Donald Trump should be impeached. I did not arrive at this conclusion lightly. The power of impeachment granted to Congress by our founding fathers should not be casually employed. In our democracy, every deference should be given to the outcome of every election. However, after 34 months in office, President Trump has established a clear pattern of willful disregard for our Constitution and its systems of checks and balances. His presidency has wrought an unprecedented and unrelenting assault on the pillars and guardrails of our democracy, including the rule of law on which our country was founded. Instead of embracing the fundamental responsibility of every American president to unite this country, this president has unleashed a torrent of attacks on fellow citizens based on their race, gender, religion, and ethnic origin. Instead of strengthening the institutional pillars of our democracy, this president is methodically tearing them down. He calls for the jailing of political opponents and pardons political allies. He demeans, attacks, and discredits the free press, dangerously labeling it as the enemy of the people. And instead of ensuring fair elections, this president has asked foreign governments to assist him in the 2020 elections and has threatened to withhold foreign aid to obtain compliance with his demands. Americans, our democracy is resilient, but it is also fragile. Its stability and progress depend on the consent of the governed, a respect for the rule of law, and the capacity of our leaders to inspire trust and confidence in each other and in the federal government. On January 20th, 2017, President-elect Donald Trump swore to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Writes Peter Welch, I have concluded that he has failed to honor that solemn oath, which in my view requires impeachment under our Constitution. Yeah. Peter Welch, United States Representative. Before we open up the mic, I want to remind folks that there are many in my district who are Republicans, who are independents, who also support impeachment. I hear from them every day. Country above party! Country above party! Country above party! Country above party! It is now time. We want to hear from all of you.
I got a song, Becca.
Oh, we're going to hear a song first, and then we'll hear from all of you. Stay tuned. Come on up, Andy.
I am one of you. So you get to hear from me. So this is a song inspired by the last few years. It's about history, which seems to get ignored by this administration, and aspiration stomped upon. So there's a little bit of a chorus. So if you can say these words, who were they?
Who were they? Who were they?
And when was that?
When was that?
Back when America was great again.
When America was great again.
Okay, so here we go. The Lord endowed us with our rights, but God, it's been an endless fight. Who is equal? Who is free? Who decides our liberty? So many battles have been won, but think of struggles left undone. And though these happened long ago, it's always right that we should know. Who were they? And when was that? Back when America was great again. The trail of tears should break your heart. The Cherokee Nation torn apart. Thousands lost upon the way. Where they're buried none can say. The court told Jackson he was wrong to drive them from where they belong. And though this happened in the past, it's always right that we should ask, who were they? And when was that? Back when America was great again. The signs in 1845 said no Irish need apply, but still they came and worked and died, so others on the trains could ride. And no one cared about their health as long as others built their wealth. And though this happened in the past, it's always right that we should ask, who were they? And when was that? Back when America was great again. A black man stood by his front door, had never seen such hate before. The racist mob that took his life scarred his family's soul for life. And though their courage filled the air, no one built a statue there. And though this happened in the past, it's always right that we should ask, who were they? And when was that? Back when America was great again. The poison leaked through rusted tanks, down the brook to the river's banks. The fish, the birds, the insects died. The well-paid company lawyers lied. It was a crime, it was a shame. The judge said no one was to blame. And though this happened in the past, it's always right that we should ask, who were they? And when was that? back when America was great again. The Lord endowed us with our rights, but God, it's been an endless fight. Who is equal? Who is free? Who decides our liberty? So many battles have been won, but think of struggles left undone. And though these happened long ago, it's always right that we should know. Who were they, and when was that? Back when America was great again. Thank you for singing. Great job.
So I don't want to neglect to let you know that your representatives from here in Brattleboro also wanted to be here today. There are regional meetings happening for the Vermont House of Representatives today, so they're not here, but they are with us in spirit, and they wanted you to know that. What we're going to do now is open the mic to all of you, and we have a gong to let you know if you're going over a minute's time. Are you ready with the gong, Franz? Where's the gong? Emergency repairs on the document. Okay, I think first up is going to be Liz McLaughlin, who is going to kick the open mic portion off. If you're interested in speaking but you don't know what to say, I actually have some quotes from famous Americans that will inspire you if you want the mic but you can't think on the spot. I am here for you because I will always be an 8th grade teacher. Okay.
Hey, how about we invite you to all screen right now?
All right.
Uh-oh. I just wrote that.
Oh, sorry about that.
All right. I have a few specifics regarding Trump's relationship with Vladimir Putin. All roads lead to Russia, as our hero Nancy Pelosi said. Trump worked to remove all of the U.S. response to Russia's takeover of Crimea. There's 4 parts. The Russian sanctions, Trump and Moscow Mitch McConnell removed the sanctions in order to have Russian aluminum investment in the state of Kentucky. The Trump Tower meeting was all about removing the sanctions. Michael Flynn's telephone call was all about removing the sanctions. Trump wants Russia back in the G8. Trump took all the funds to support NATO countries against Russia's influence in Crimea and all the U.S. military projects to protect Europe. He took all that money for his wall. And lastly, the thing that we caught him on was Congress's aid to the Ukraine was held for personal political gain. Trump is Putin's useful idiot. Let's do the patriotic thing and impeach him.
My name's Jonathan Morse. I live in Marlboro.
Right up close.
All right, right up close. I'm 75 years old. I know that some of you here are 75 years old. I can tell you that the first time I got involved with activism was in the early 60s around Vietnam. I was at the Pentagon in 1967. And we're still where we were then. What the heck? You're lucky I sweetened up my words. So, I always think about what shirt am I going to wear when I go to a demonstration like this. And unfortunately, I can't really have it on and not be freezing cold. But you're going to see it in a second. Sometimes the shirt is trickle down doesn't. And sometimes it's a specific thing like gun control or whatever. But today, it's organized. All of us little fish can beat That's big fish. And it doesn't stop here. We can't go home and be complacent. We've got to be out there.
Excellent. Hey, so the mic is open, 1-minute speeches. If you come up to speak, just be mindful of the cords, and we'll remind you as you come up here. We don't want you to trip on anything. So I am John Hagan. I am the chair for the Windham County Democratic Committee, but like Becca, I am here today as a citizen, a pissed off citizen, about how our president has been treating us. I want to give you two numbers that I read this morning. 11,000, 13,945. 13,945 lies have been documented by the Washington Post over the president's time in office. 13,000. And that's a conservative estimate. The other number is 11,000. That's how many tweets he's done in the time he's been here. And this is important. This is why we need to be speaking. There was an article this morning in the New York Times, and they're talking about how the president doesn't even listen to his advisors. He goes from whatever he feels like going with, and he just tweets it out there. That means the U.S. government, all that intelligence, all that experience, all those individuals out there who know what's going on in the field are being disregarded. The president only listens to himself, Fox and Friends, and whoever's making a whole lot of money off of what he's doing. We need to be standing up to that. If he's done 11,000 tweets by now, he's going to be doing another 11,000, and we need to be taking action. So here's my ask to you. This is great we're here, and we're rallying, and we're excited, and we're energized, and we're angry, but we've got to take action. On the back table there's a flyer about the 10th of November. This next Sunday, we are having an action planning session. This is a creative time to come together. If you're involved in the environment, you're mad at Trump. If you're involved in civil rights, social justice, labor, good governance, good foreign policy, it doesn't matter. Everything leads back to that individual. And we need to be coming together from all the different sectors and talking about what we're going to do over the next year to make sure that by November of 2020, he is long gone and out the door.
Hello, I'm George Harvey. I live in Brattleboro. Gotta go right up. I'm George Harvey. I live here in Brattleboro, and I have been a town meeting rep for a long time. And I want to tell you, Donald Trump has personally said that he hates me. The reason for that is simple. I am pond scum. I voted Republican, but I couldn't vote for Trump. And in fact, I stopped voting Republican in 2004 when I realized that the Republican Party had sold out our environment. But when it came to Donald Trump, I didn't vote for him for a very simple reason, and that was I could see that he was a con artist. And he is just a con artist. I want you to feel sorry for him. He's a 4-year-old who never got past that stage of development, and that is a very sad thing. But the real thing that I want to say is we've got reasons to want to return to a time when America was great. And the things that made America great included devotion to the Constitution, a devotion to liberty, and the fact that we were immigrants who had the courage to come to an unknown country and develop new lives here, which is what he's trying to prevent.
So those of you who are just joining us, this is the open mic portion of this rally. This is a people's rally. We want to hear from all of you. So I see Robin Morgan just came with her kids. Maybe you want to say something, Robin. Maybe your kids do. Maybe your mom does. I hear from your mom every week. I hear from your mom. The most active woman in this county, right here. Yeah, let's see the signs. If you want to speak, come on up. Just come right on up and take the mic.
Don't forget to sign if you haven't signed.
And sign the sign. Sign the statement. Okay, I don't usually do this. But hey, a couple of quick things. One, call Welch's office. I actually got a human, and thank him for supporting impeachment. I think this would be a good thing to do.
do. I was surprised. I thought I'd do a recording. I got a human. She was very nice. Left a message in support. The other thing is something we can do about the election and upcoming 2020 and some of the other elections. If you haven't heard of Vote Forward, it's vote, VOTEFWD.org. I'm sure if you just Google Vote Forward, what they do, and this is all over the country. They started with the 2018 election, and you write letters to possible voters, people who haven't come out, and you can pick your state, you can send letters to people, and you don't have to write the whole letter. You print it out. You do need a printer. You print it out and you just say why you vote in every election. And I'm hoping that this will help get more people out. They say that people pay more attention to written letters than they do to texts and phone calls. I mean, we're all getting a lot of this kind of stuff. So I just thought I'd do a plug for that. And I hope it helps. With the more we write letters, you do have to pay them for the stamps.
Who's coming up next? This is your chance. Say your piece. Come on, Dad. Come on up. This is my dad.
Becca referred earlier to the fact that she's the daughter of an immigrant. I'm the immigrant. I came here in 1957. And in 1962, I chose to become a citizen. And I swore an oath. In 1962, I swore another oath as an officer in the U.S. Army. And I'm so sad at what has happened to our country in this past couple of years. And I hope that we can change this. It is important. We have seen this movie before, and it is no good.
That's right.
Thank you.
Come on up. Take the microphone. Come on up.
Well, it's about family. Franz is my brother, and he wanted our 95-year-old aunt to be the first person to sign. So I asked her, and it's hard for her to get out. But she said, I don't want him to have to be impeached. She said, I've started praying lately that he would change. I personally believe that if all of us who dislike him had started praying for him the day he took oath, he would be Mother Teresa by now. But I think it's too late. So I'm so proud of my brother, and I'm so proud of all y'all for being here.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anna Marie Pluhar, and I think we all know... Right up close, she says. So I'm Anna Marie Pluhar, and I just wanted to pass on something that I got in a newsletter, which is to send a handwritten note of thank you to Adam Schiff, who's doing an stellar job. And I think it's really hard, so our appreciation would be a good thing.
Thank you, Anna Marie. Come on up. Don't be shy. Come on up. You came!
Yeah, they're holding my beer. I just want to add to...
Right up close, right up close.
I want to add to the call for getting out the vote with Vote Forward. There's a gazillion organizations working to get out the vote, working to get people who feel like you do but don't get out to vote. There is postcards to voters.org. There are people texting. If you don't want to pop for a stamp, there are people texting people who would get out to vote. And of course, there are people doing phone banking, which is great if you can get to talk to somebody and get them to make a plan to vote. That's what makes people vote. And that's what's going to happen. We need to change the Congress and get rid of Trump.
That's right. How many of you in the audience have ever done phone banking? How many have ever done it? That's wonderful. That's because it's Brattleboro. That's amazing. How many people have been out canvassing ever, door to door? Again, amazing, amazing. I love this town. I know there are more people that want to say things. Leslie, do you want to say something? Come on up.
Thank you, Becca. Thank you, John. Thank you, Franz, because we have our democracy square right now, right here. We've always had it in Brattleboro, but we're lucky. Vermont's never afraid to be first. I've been like, where are the people in the streets for impeachment? And people in Europe. And I mean, there's protests going on all over the world, and they're all looking at us going, what is with you people? You know? So I am so grateful that we had the opportunity today to stand up finally for impeachment, and please pass this on to all your friends who aren't in Vermont and say, don't wait for the big national organizations to call it, just do it now.
Hey folks, when you come up here to speak, you have the added benefit of seeing all the great signs. But what I'd like you to do is hold your signs up and slowly turn around and show them to everyone behind you and in front of you, because there's some amazing signs out there. And then anyone else, this mic is open. Please come on up, say your speech. Come on up, sir. Awesome sign, our flag.
I just wanna say don't give up on the galactically huge expansive power to fight tyranny and create whole new universes. Could I get a woo? We won't stand for this, the whole world's watching. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to say two things. One is that I nursed my older daughter during the Watergate hearings. Sometimes I watched them twice a day, and I remember the bipartisanship of those hearings, and it was just astonishing. I remember that thinking, there are lies that can't be swallowed, and my daughter is now a union organizer, and so I guess it's stuck. The other thing I wanted to point out is, I don't know whether any of you were involved with sister districts. Anybody here? And so Sister Districts is having a gathering, and I believe an auction this afternoon. I believe at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And so if somebody could just offer details about that, it would be really useful, because they're doing terrific work of just bringing the messages and the money and the support out to people who live in red states. Oh, you've got the answer? Okay, great.
So Sister District dinner is happening from 4 to 7 next stage in Putney, and it's soup and silent auction. They have Sister District works specifically to support candidates in red or purple states. So Putney has combined supports in Virginia the state election. So the election in 2 days is about winning Virginia for Democrats. And they only need to flip 2 seats to get the legislature Democratic, and that would make a huge difference in lots of ways. So this afternoon, our version of Sister District is holding this dinner silent auction. You can go up there from 4 to 7.
Come on up.
Hi again. I'm just going to jump in on that last comment. The reapportionment of the Congress that will happen after the 2020 census is critically important. This is something where a lot of us were caught napping 10 years ago, and where district lines were drawn and congressional representation was determined in a fundamentally anti-democratic fashion. And this critically depends on the state legislative elections that are happening now and next year. We cannot afford, again, to turn our back on those races, even if they're in other states. So I would jump in. I don't know anything about sister district, but I love that they're paying attention to this issue. Thank you.
Okay, Bill McKim, I just wrote a check. An hour ago to Sister District. And I'd like you to do so too. But it's not just for Democrats. This is for the whole country. I'm sorry, I'm too emotional to talk. Somebody else, please.
We understand. We understand, Bill. We understand. We've all been there. Sometimes I wake up, I look in the newspaper, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and I have to close the computer. I can't stand it. I can't stand the news that I'm hearing. We have all felt this way, Bill. We've all felt this way. And that's why we're here today, to stand together, because we feel so isolated in our homes. We've got to be out on the street. We have to be talking with each other. Please, if you have something to say, come up here and say it. We will hold you together. We will hold you. And do you want to say something? Come on up. Thank you. Come on up.
Hi, everybody. I was just moved by, what was his name, Bill?
Bill.
Speaking about Sister District, I just, because during 2016 I became painfully aware of how unfair our election processes are, not only in the national elections, but in the state's elections as well. And I just felt compelled to say this because I don't hear people speaking of this often, and it's one of the pillars of our democracy. And I just wonder if we would find ourselves in a rally today where we are talking about impeaching our president, if we'd actually had fair elections in the last federal election cycle. And if this is something that's not on your radar, there's a great documentary at the library called The Best Democracy Money Can Buy that Greg Palast put together. And there's also a report that was put together by a group of people in New York City. I don't remember their names now. It's called Democracy Lost. And they researched the state's primaries all around the country and put together a report on it. And it's very disturbing. It will make you cry. Thank you.
Thank you. Brenda, you gonna come on up? Brenda Siegel, come on up.
Hi, I'm going to read what Bill wanted to read, a quote for you. But before I do, I just want to share a story that today I was with my son after having breakfast together. He's 17, and I told him I was coming here. And he said, but aren't we already doing impeachment? So why are we all here? And I felt like it's so important from having that experience that remember that we have to organize. We have to keep standing together. We have to keep fighting together. We're not going to make this change, the impeachment, or anything else if we don't do that. And so it's not just for us, it's for our children, it's for our parents, it's for our grandparents who may or may not still be here, and to make sure that we continue to fight this way. So I really wanted to share that because it really shocked me to have my son say that, and to realize that I, whom very involved, didn't have not continued to ingrain that need to organize directly into, so I think it's really, really important that we make that effort. So this is the quote that Bill brought. It's from Malcolm X. You're not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or says it. Thank you, Bill.
Hey all, 3 quick reminders. Number 1, if you have not signed the declaration yet and you've just arrived, there is a public declaration down here. There are Sharpies on the side. Please come down and sign it. Number 2, when you come up to speak, please be mindful of the cords. I don't want anyone tripping on them. Number 3, I'm going to be reminding this a couple times. Next week, November 10th, 3 to 6 p.m. at the Stone Church, we're going to be doing action and planning. So if you're energized here, you got to bring that energy out. You got to do something with it. You got to take that frustration that you feel when you look at that newspaper in the morning. You got to channel it into something positive, and we're going to give you that opportunity next week. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Robin, and these are my children, Archie and Olive. And I just wanted to come up here for a minute to talk a little bit about what it's like to be raising kids in the era of Trump. And I feel like it's really important for kids to, learn about current events and justice, but I've had to specifically limit how much I tell them about what's going on because it's so much anxiety for them to hold. But I did let them know the exciting news that some impeachment proceedings had gotten in motion, and they rushed to make these signs. And I don't know if you could see them. Will you hold them up, guys? That they're featuring some of their pop culture references. So if you're not up on your Gen Z pop culture, you might not know these, but we've got Harry, Ron, and Hermione leading the charge against Trump, and we've got here Trump as a Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. So this kid knows a corrupt oligarch when he sees one. And I just wanted to thank everyone that's standing here, because it's actions like this and all of the other things that you guys are doing and that we're all doing when we're not in this space that are giving hope to the kids of America that someone is going to rescue them from this nightmare. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Robin. Thanks, Olive and Archie. I think all of us with young children know exactly what Robin's talking about. I have a friend who works at the Secretary of State's office here in Vermont, and it has been incredibly difficult for him as a dad to figure out what to talk to his kids about and what he needs to protect them from so that they don't lose heart at the tender age of 10 and 12. Doug, are you up next?
Hi. Show of hands, how many people have heard of Code Pink? Code Pink? It's about a lot of different issues, I went to D.C. to get arrested on Friday, but they wouldn't let me get arrested. There were 47 women that got arrested instead, and because I was a man, I had to sit it out. But Code Pink has a 12-week, at least from now on, there are 12 more sessions on Friday on the southeast lawn of the Capitol. Next week they're going to be talking about war and climate, and the week after that they're going to be talking about food, and the week after that it's something else in climate. A range of issues. How many people have heard about Fridays for Future? Greta Thunberg. How many people have heard about Fire Drill Friday? Fire Drill Friday. Anybody know who organized that? Jane Fonda. So I met Jane Fonda. I stood and talked with her. I talked with her assistant and her daughter and the co-founder of Code Pink. So anyway, I made a commitment. I will bring somebody with me next Friday. So I'm going to take the train. I drove down there this week, but it was just too long of a drive. So anyway, I encourage everybody to look up Fire Drill Friday at Code Pink. And come on down any Friday until January 10th.
Awesome. Thanks, Beth, are you up?
Hello. So I look around and I realize that, many people are in my generation. Our generation who stood out and fought for peace and justice and equality and died for it. And it's our generation who created what it is that we're enduring now. And it's really hard, and it's hard sometimes to believe that I've had children and grandchildren who have to deal with this and withstand it. And one of the things that brings me comfort is Vermont. And I just want to say, last week I went to a forum that they do monthly, that our local reps do monthly. There is so much going on in this state and so much need to support and take care of ourselves as well. I mean, I do plan to go out and register voters in New Hampshire or whatever, but but we're here, and please let us give all we can to that and let it give us comfort.
Thanks, Beth.
Hey there, my name is Breeze, and I'm kind of too sensitive to stay on top of the political situation. It just is a little bit too much for me. But in my own way, I'm out there thinking about what's going on. So something I wanted to share was, in my ponderings, I've heard how negative thoughts in the mind stick like Velcro. Positive is like Teflon. It's not always so easy to hold to the truth. So I was thinking of that song Closer to Find by the Indigo Girls, where they say darkness has a hunger that's insatiable. The light has a voice that's hard to hear. Now I went to those thoughts in conjunction with thinking why are the Republicans' point of view so successful in engendering fear? And I realized there it is. And it's just so easy to grab onto fear. I've got it in my own mind. It's just so easy for me to walk around the world scared all the time with all these thoughts. It's so much harder to find where is the truth and speak up for the truth. And I feel like that names why this dark movement has had so much success. And the reason I bring it up is that, yeah, it is harder to speak up for a truth, something you think should be a done deal. But it's not a done deal. That truth has to be clung to, and that's why we do have to speak up, because the darkness is just so easy to spray all over the place. And that positive voice is so important.
Thanks, Breeze. No, don't lose your courage. Everybody supporting her. She's not going to lose her courage, right? Not going to lose her courage.
Okay. Show me how to do this.
You can do this. Right into the mic. You got it.
In case you didn't notice my sign that says bucket list, the reason I have this is because in October of 2016, I was diagnosed with cancer. I'd gone through the campaign and everything, and then all of a sudden I realized that I was more afraid of Donald Trump being elected than I was of dying from cancer. And you know, I'm still here, but he is there. So the bucket list used to be Paris. The bucket list was all kinds of wonderful things. Now the bucket list is to get rid of the people and the powers that be that allow Donald Trump to be president, to remain there. I want to leave the world a better place, and I'll bet you do too. And to leave the world a better place, this is where it's going to start.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your courage. Speaking up.
Hello. Fred Bernick from Brattleboro here. The last speaker referred to it, as did George Harvey earlier. The Republican Party has moved beyond being reasonable people. And it's a Republican Party that is basically keeping Trump, the current Republican Party is keeping Trump in office. And I haven't heard the name of Mitch McConnell spoken today. So I want to make sure, if you know anybody in Kentucky, write to them and encourage them to do whatever they can to get rid of Mitch McConnell too. You know what he's done. A Brattleboro field trip to Kentucky. There you go.
Mention Amy McGrath, who is neck and neck with McConnell.
And Amy McGrath is running against McConnell in Kentucky.
Amy McGrath.
If you have,
send her 25
if you have any extra cash, you can send her. Stephen says that's a good place for it.
Right. Anyone else? Come on up. While you're thinking of what you want to say, do we have a song we could be going to?
Yeah, there you go.
What more song?
We got some. We always got some. You have to hold it now. But before we've been talking about getting out here and rallying. Then sooner or later this month, probably not until December, the House is going to vote. The night before the vote, we're attempting to get a nationwide rally all over the country, just like this one, okay?
We're not going to attempt, we're going to do it.
We're going to do it. And the way you can find out about it, when you get home tonight, go to moveon.org, put in Brattleboro's zip code and RSVP, and you'll get notified when it happens. It could happen on really short notice, so you want to know about it.
Be ready.
Okay. How about that?
Down by the roadside.
We'll find something here.
I'm gonna
lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. I ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside, no, stand aside no more. I ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. Gonna impeach the president down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna impeach the president down by the riverside. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. I ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. I ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. I like that one. Let's do that one again. Gonna impeach the president down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna impeach the president down by the riverside. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. I ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. I ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more. Ain't gonna stand aside no more.
So
I didn't get the gong.
no, we played the gong. Oh, we played the gong. Oh, we did. Yeah, we played the gong.
I always wanted to be on the gong show. Never mind.
So, as my introverted wife always reminds me, some people in the audience need a little bit more time to decide to come up to the microphone. So we will not resort to begging, but we want to give space for those who may need a little bit more time to decide they're going to say something. So in the meantime, give you a little bit of time to think. I cannot be out here at a political rally and not bring into the space my political hero, which is Representative Shirley Chisholm, who many of you know. Some of you even worked on her campaign. So this is from Unbought and Unbossed. She wrote, "It is incomprehensible to me the fear that can affect men in political offices. It is shocking the way they submit to forces they know are wrong and fail to stand up for what they believe. Can their jobs be so important to them, their prestige, their power, their privileges, so important that they will cooperate in the degradation of our society just to hang on to those jobs?"
It's astonishing.
It is astonishing. So, last call for those who want to come up and say their piece at this rally.
So on behalf of the Windham County Democratic Committee, I want to say thank you for coming out. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, an independent, this is a nonpartisan issue. This is a president who's acted criminally and needs to be removed out of office, and we're very happy that you're here. Again, reminder, November 10th, Stone Church, 3 to 6 p.m. If you want to be part of the plan in environment, social justice, civil rights, labor, foreign policy, doesn't matter, good governance, you want to be there because that's how we're going to take back this country for ourselves.
Yes!
I got nothing to add.
So one thing I want you to leave here thinking about, you are not alone. You are not alone. Your despair is not something you have to hold to yourself. You have to let people know how you feel about this situation. The silence is what's going to kill us. The silence is going to kill us. You have got to have your voices heard, which is why we wanted an open mic today. We are here to give you a voice. Please use that voice. Take that voice. Use that voice. Take that voice. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being heard. Stephen is here to say something.
My godmother, I'm Stephen Stearns, I guess I should say. My godmother is Pat Carr, and Pat lives in Manchester, Vermont. And Pat and Jerry was the astronaut captain of Skylab 4 and a lifetime military person. And they are dedicated, number one, to removing Trump, and number two, to removing Mitch McConnell, and to supporting Amy McGrath. So Pat has sent out 3 letters to me and to all kinds of people that she knows that you do not know. And she's also targeted Maine as another race, and then one other. So all I will say is that these particular races are about flipping, flipping the Senate, increasing the control of the House, and doing that also, of course, in state races. So if you email me, and I'm at Gmail, so it's Stephen J. Stearns, StephenJStearns, Stephen J. Stearns, then I will send you the link to Pat, and Pat will send you her letter. She's got 3 of them now, which are so important because she is doing incredible research into where to put our leverage. Email me and I'll send you the contact to Pat Carr and to Jerry Carr. Stephen J. Stearns at Gmail, if you like. That's my thought.
Finally, big thank you to Songs of Solidarity group who led our singing today. Really appreciate you guys coming out and doing that. Excellent. That's it?
Have a good trip home.
Yeah.
Safe travels home. Please do not stop talking to your neighbors who do not agree with you. Do not shut your door to the independents, the Republicans, and the people who are not engaged in the political process. This is the time to make yourself vulnerable and talk to people about what it means to live in a democracy and to support our Constitution. We cannot shut our doors to people who do not agree with us. I know it's hard. I do it all the time in the State House. It's hard, but we've got to do it. Please join me in that. Please. That is what's going to save us.
Thanks for coming, everybody. You're going to make a difference.
Nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. 'Cause we know right from wrong, and it's as simple as this song. Nobody is above the law. Corporations ain't above the law. Corporations ain't above the law. 'Cause we know right from wrong, and it's as simple as this song. Nobody is above the law. The rich man, oh, the rich man ain't above the law. Oh, the rich man ain't above the law. Can't hear ya. 'Cause we know right from wrong, and it's as simple as this song. Nobody is above the law. Politicians, politicians are above the law. Politicians ain't above the law. 'Cause we know right from wrong, and it's as simple as this song. Nobody is above the law. Here's the one you've been waiting for. Oh, the president ain't above the law. Oh, the president ain't above the law.